Do you know the map of Africa was turned upside down? Yes. The very image of our continent. Inverted. And most people never questioned it. Let me tell you why. Who did it? And what turning it back reveals about the truth they tried to bury. The Nile. The great river of life. It doesn't flow from Egypt down to Africa. It flows the other way. From deep within Africa, northward to the Mediterranean. So when you trace the Nile back to its beginning, you don't end in Egypt. You arrive in Sudan, the land once called Nubia. And Nubia was not a province. It was a kingdom, a civilization, older than Egypt, richer in culture, and powerful enough to shape the world that came after it. The Nubians were not Egypt's students. They were its teachers. They built pyramids, hundreds of them, before Egypt's name was even known to the world. They ruled Egypt as pharaohs. They carried the same gods, the same spiritual science, and the same royal blood. But somewhere along the line, history was rewritten, and the story began from the middle, not from the source. When Europe began to draw the world, they made maps with Europe on top and Africa below, not because the earth said so, but because power said so. They decided north means up and south means down, that one side of the world should be above the other, and we accepted it until we forgot that the world has no top or bottom. For our ancestors, the south was sacred because from the south came the river, the life, the spirit. To them, the source was what mattered, not the direction. So understand this. What the world now calls sub-Saharan Africa, they once called the bottom, was for thousands of years the top of the known world, the cradle of knowledge, science, and divine order. They flipped our map to flip our truth. They placed us beneath to make us forget that the world began here. But when you turn the map back to its rightful position, you see it clearly. The Nile, the pyramids, the kingdoms, the rhythm of civilization, all rising from the south upward, from the heart of Africa. Africa was never beneath anyone. It was placed there by those who feared its light. Now we rise again. And when Africa stands upright, the world will finally face the truth, that the beginning was never in the north. It was always here. Together we can rediscover our history, reclaim our heritage, and rebuild a future where Africa leads with knowledge, unity, and strength. Let the illumination of truth guide us. Look at our continent and see it for what it truly is, vast, vibrant, and endlessly resilient. Africa's story is greatness untold, echoing with the voices of ancestors and living through the hearts of today's generations.